Results of human trials 1992-1999. Results of human trials come from two sources. 1. Double-blind Phase 2 clinical trial. 2. The depletion on the basis of compassionate use and as adjuvant treatment. In the following we will present in detail the conditions of examination and summarize our results. Double-blind Phase 2 clinical trial. Clinical trials started in 1995, after the acceptance of the preclinical file, with the permission of the National Institute of Pharmacy or Sagosjijasarseti in Tezet. Within 2 years, 42 patients were involved in the evaluation, from which the results of 35 were suitable for evaluation. After breaking the codes, we stated that 19 patients belonged to the treated and 16 to the control group. The results of the evaluation are as follows. From the beginning of 1998, clinical trials were continued and a further 22 patients were involved till May 1999. The effect of deuterium depletion on TOMOURS of the prostate interim report on Phase II clinical trials. D. INDAAS COVAX-MB, TIBORCAS-MRMB, Imrilarimb, Jork Shakani Desembi, Gabor CSUSC, Kabure RPASIMB, Bella BOLCSKEIMB, Peter Juvens IMB, ISTVA in Unosi, GYORGY PH, D. Gabor Jenk 6 PH, D. GEZAWABROSCH Summary. The aim of the trial. To prove that deuterium-depleted water can effectively be used for the treatment of prostate tumor patients. Methods. Double-blind controlled Phase 2 clinical trial. In compliance with GCP principles. Results. Interim evaluation confirmed a significant difference between the control and treated groups with respect to the examined parameters that indicated the anti-tumor effect of the preparation. At the time of the 5th and 6th visits, the ratio of patients showing an increased efficacy PR was significantly higher statistically. 5th visit. P equals sign 0.0096. 6th visit. P equals sign 0.021 in the treated group. B. The volume of the prostate decreased significantly. P equals sign 0.043 in the treated group, whereas it could be regarded as unchanged in the control group. C. The number of patients with a decreased prostate volume was significantly higher. Exact Armitage test. P equals sign 0.015. Exact Fisher test. P equals sign 0.011. D. Significantly more patients reported a positive change in symptoms in the treated group. Exact Armitage test. P equals sign 0.0009. Exact Fisher test. P equals sign 0.0018. The survival rate in the treated group was significantly higher. P equals sign 0.030. After the consumption of more than 10 tons of DD water, no event endangering life happened. We did not experience any deterioration in blood counts, irritation of the mucous membrane, nausea, headache, etc. that could have been attributed to DD water consumption. Conclusions. The application of water with a decreased deuterium content and the subsequently occurring deuterium depletion in the patient's body may be a suitable means of treatment of prostate tumors. Introduction. During the past years, several independent experiments have proved the supposition that naturally occurring deuterium HDO concentration 16.8 ml, 150 ppm plays an important role in regulating intracellular processes. The first in vitro experiment revealed that if cells are placed in a medium of decreased deuterium content 90 ppm, their proliferation is inhibited for 10 to 12 hours. 1. The application of deuterium-depleted water DD water resulted in tumor regression in mice transplanted with human breast and prostate tumors, as well as in dogs and cats with spontaneous tumors 1 to 6. According to trials, DD water can trigger apoptosis in vitro and in vivo. 6. 7. The effect of deuterium depletion on biological systems was proved with regard to plants as well. Beyond its anti-tumor effect, DD water inhibited the growth of plant tumors 8 and plant sprouts of germinating seeds 9, 10, and it also activated membrane transport processes 4. After the conclusion of preclinical and toxicological evaluations, human phase 2 double-blind clinical trials began in the summer of 1995. The aim of clinical trials was to prove the anti-tumor effect of DD water on tumors of the prostate. Here we will analyze the interim evaluation of the phase 2 clinical trial. According to the interim evaluation, prostate tumors can be treated successfully with DD water. The corroboration of this statement is presently going on with the involvement of further patients, materials, and methods. Clinical trials are being carried out according to GCP principles with the permission of central and local ethical committees as well as the written consent of patients, simultaneously with conventional treatment. All patients involved in trials are receiving standard conventional treatment as well. According to the protocol, only patients with a histologically confirmed prostate tumor can be involved. The duration of the trial is 4 months, but the follow-up of the patient is continued even after the closing of the data files. During the trials, the same 2 doctors followed the changes in prostate volume by a monthly rectal sonography. We calculated the volume of the prostate, knowing the 2 diameters on the basis of the following formula. B equals sine 0.523x plus B/23. During comparative analysis, the values measured at the 6th visit were expressed in the percentage of the value measured during the first visit, and the percent values thus obtained were compared in the 2 groups. Beside the change in prostate volume, several other parameters were accorded during the 4 months of follow-up: PCOG, urination problems, PSA, etc. Patients treated with the preparation consumed DD water of a 90 ppm content, while that of the placebo was 150 ppm. The daily dose, depending on the state of the patients, varied between 0.014 to 0.030 kilograms DD water body mass, which corresponds to the consumption of a daily 1.2 to 1.8 L in the case of a patient with an average body mass 60 to 70 kilograms. Evaluation of the results was done by the exact Armitage and Fisher tests. Statistical analysis as to efficacy was based upon the comparison between the PR, NA, and PD case numbers in the 2 groups. Results: in the course of 2 years, we treated 42 patients with prostate tumors. 3 of them backed out before the beginning of the treatment. Thus, 39 patients safety population. SP began to consume the coded preparation prior to breaking the codes, because of incorrect inclusion discovered later. A further 4 patients were excluded. Thus, interim evaluation was carried out with the inclusion of 35 patients intention to treat, ITT, from among which 26 belonged to Group PP per protocol. The patients could participate in all control examinations. With knowledge of the codes, we learned that 19 patients belonged to the treated and 16 to the control group. Data of homogeneity of the treated and the control groups. Prior to the evaluation of results, we established that with respect to the phases of the illness, the 2 groups were homogeneous. Evaluating the whole group together, there was no difference in the length of time between the setting up of the diagnosis and the involvement in the clinical trial. The mean value in the treated group was 294 days, and in the control group, 281 days. There was, however, a difference in the number of patients diagnosed within 3 months. The significance of this will be dealt with later. According to histological classification, 5 patients were treated with anaplastic adenocarcinoma, 4 of them belonged to the controls and only 1 to the treated group. Change in the size of the prostate. According to the statistical analysis, the differences in the relative change of the size of the prostate p equals sign 0.043 deviated significantly in the treated and control groups. The mean value in the treated group was 78.8%, 23%. And in the control group it was 97.9%, 28.2%. In percent of the initial value. Numerically, this means that in the treated group a net 150 cc decrease of the prostate volume occurred during 4 months of the treatment, while in the control group there was no net decrease in volume. The latter may be explained by the fact that although there were patients with whom the volume of the prostate decreased, this was compensated for by a significant increase with other patients. The effectiveness of the preparation is also indicated by the fact that in the treated group, significantly more patients experienced a decrease in the volume of the prostate. Exact Fisher test equals sign 0.028. Table 11.9 changes in the volume of the prostate in the treated group. The significant difference may be attributed to the fact that in the treated group, from among 19 patients, only in 1 could the increase of 5.7 cm of the prostate volume be measured, which remained under 10%. In 2 cases, no change in the prostate volume was observed, while in the rest 16 patients, the volume of the prostate decreased. With 10 patients, the range of decrease was above 10%, 12 to 70%. In contrast, in the control group, in 5 patients, an increase in volume was observed. In 4 cases, this was above 20%. In 2 cases, it remained unchanged. And it was only in 9 cases that the volume of the prostate decreased. In 5 cases above 10%. The figures are given in tables 11, 9 to 10. Table 11.10 changes in the volume of the prostate in the control group. Changes in urination problems. During statistical evaluation, we analyze the data according to treatment groups, rendering observations into 2 groups, OK and not OK. In the course of this, we found that the changes in urination problems differed in the 2 treatment groups. The opinion of the change in the symptom was significantly better in the treated group. The exact Fisher test equals sign 0.0018. Broken down to patients. Numerically, this meant that in the treated group, from 19 patients, 15 had urination problems at the beginning, and 9 of them reported an OK status, with no deterioration whatever. In the control group, from the 10 patients who had urination problems at the beginning, only 1 reported having no problems, whereas 3 experienced deterioration. P equals sign 0.69. Evaluation of the efficacy of treatment. During the 4 months of the trial, no CR was recorded, although with 1 patient who consumed DD water. No area PO and echo was detectable during sonography. The lack of CR cases, in our view, is due to the short period 4 months of the treatment. The breakdown of cumulative efficacy indexes on the occasion of the 5th and 6th visits in the IDT group is demonstrated in Table 11.11. Statistical evaluation shows that the ratio of patients showing improvement at the 5th and 6th visits was significantly higher in contrast to the control group. Table 11.11 breakdown of cumulative efficacy indexes. At the 5th and 6th visits in the IDT group, breakdown of average survivals and deaths according to treatment groups. The 4 months follow-up prescribed in the protocol did not prove to be sufficient for obtaining appreciable results regarding survival. We therefore followed patients involved in the trial launched in August 1995 till May 1997. The average survival was determined as the length of the interval between the entrance into the trial as starting point, and the follow-up examination subsequent to the closing of the clinical trial as closing point. According to statistical evaluation, Average survival was significantly longer, p equals sign 0.030 in the treated IDT group. During the 4 months of participation in the protocol, none of the patients died. After the closing of the trial, 7 of the 35 patients involved died, 2 of them from the treated group and 5 from the control group, including the SP group as well. The results are demonstrated in Table 2.12. Evaluation of laboratory tests and tolerance. In the case of laboratory tests, there was a significant difference regarding gamma-GT and ALP. Decrease occurred in the treated group, and increase in the control group gamma-GT. P equals sign 0.028. ALP, P equals sign 0.022. From the point of view of undesirable events, we found no difference. According to doctors, the patients who consumed ED water tolerated the preparation administered during the clinical trial significantly better, p equals sign 0.024. Table 11.12 breakdown of mortality in the treated and control groups.